Hello, good morning, everyone. It's Sammy, Office Manager. So today we are going to talk about how to prepare the offer. So I see there's lots of the agent, maybe it's a new joint. And also we have some agent in the business for a few years. So today we're going to use Ron to do some practice how to prepare the offer. Okay, let's without any delay, let's start. Okay, so now if you already see the property with your client and they are ready to put the offer, so we just go to the listing. I just quickly check the listing, random pick one. So anyone. So if your buyer like the property, they want to put the offer, we just go to find the property details. And before we go, always check the broker remark. The reason we check is we want to see the instruction for the offer. And is there any multiple offer or is there anything we should to know before we prepare the offer? And if not, so next we can easily go to web form. Today we are going to use web form to prepare the offer. And then next Thursday, we are going to use sky slope to prepare the offer. So we have to learn both. Right now we have two systems. One is a web form to prepare the offer. Another one is called sky slope. So today we are going to focus on web form. Just click web form, enter the photo, click web form. This is a freehold. So once you click a web form, there's a pop-up window. And the transaction name is the property address. You can change it if you want, but usually we just leave default. And the template, this is a freehold. You see there's an extra, that means mandatory. So you have to choose a template manually. So this is a freehold. We choose 01A freehold. And I know some agent in the business for many years. In the past many years, our office, we have a different template. Some agent may see it, you have 001. So don't use 001, just use a two-digit number, 01A. That's the right template. And other than that, we don't need to do anything, just click create. It's very simple. And once you create, so this is the main page. Usually I will, some agent, they like to fill all the information, but usually I will quickly just go to the right. You see the forms on the right, dashboard, details, contact, forms. We just click forms. And once you click forms, you see we have all kinds of the form here. That is our office. We have already pre-built in the form for every agent. So let's quickly introduce. The first three form is called agency form. Agency form is not sent to listing agent. And I know some agent, maybe just new, you don't know which form send to listing agent. Some agent just send everything, like a BRA, fund track, RICO info guide. You don't need to send it to listing agent. So first three form, keep it, let your client sign it, keep it. Once the deal finish, firmed, you need to send it to our office deals department. If the deal not firm, so you can keep it. You don't need to send it to our office deals department. And if the buyer is one buyer, you only need a one fund track individual identification form. If there's a two buyer, you have to click add, search another fund track, 630, Toronto fund track. The last one, just by click a circle, add. So that is if you have two buyers, so you can drag and make 630, 1, 630, 2, 630. That means the two buyers. If you have three buyers, you need a three fund track form, one buyer each set. But the BRA, you can use one BRA for one buyer or two buyer or three buyer. Just use one BRA form. BRA we change recently. Some agent, they ask, where is the 300 BRA? We don't have a 300 anymore. We're just using 371 is buyer designated buyer represent agreement. And some agent maybe buy the property for yourself, for your family member, and you need a disclosure. So before we go to the form, we always need to find out the form. So just by click add, by click 160 disclosure. So if you couldn't remember the form name, you can write down disclosure. If you write down disclosure, you will see there's two different kind of the disclosure, but we're using for the 160 this register disclosure for the acquisition property. So the Toronto one. But there's too many different boards, so that's why make it very complicated. Usually, if you can quickly memorize a number 160, will be easy and fast. Just add. Once you add 160 is always the form you add on the bottom. So for me, usually I want put in the right order. Just drag to first form of the offer. So we see the 371 RICO info guide and the fund track is agency form. Other than that, disclosure A01, 100, 320 is the form you need to ask your buyer to sign it, send it to listing agent. So let's start from the agency form first. And the buyer, so I put the buyer's name. You need to ask a buyer to provide their driver's license. You can have a legal name and their address. So you get the buyer's address and also their city from the driver's license. And the agent's name. If you are the agent, we just put your name here. And the one you are starting to see the property with your buyer. Let's say today, we just see the property this morning. We just write down today's date. And start today. And the expire date. Usually the BRA expire date, we need to put a reasonable time. We cannot just put a 2 year, 1 year. Usually reasonable, like 4 months, 5 months, 3 months, 4 months is reasonable. So right now, April. So we may put by end of the July. And the type is called a residential. And where the property, the buyer looking for. Let's say they're looking for the property in the Toronto, Markham, Richmond Hill. So if you know the city, basically they ask for the city. Or if the buyer, they are not sure, you can put the GTA area. And the Schedule A, we don't need to put any Schedule A here, just leave blank. And for the commission is a 2.5. That is usually the listing brokerage will give to the cooperating brokerage. But sometimes in case they have a different, we just put as per MLS. So the commission listing brokerage, the seller will pay to listing brokerage will pay to cooperating brokerage. So most of the case, a buyer, they will not need to pay the commission unless they like the property, but there's nobody will pay the commission, but the buyer willing to let you to help them to buy. But this is a really, really rarely case. So we can just explain to the buyer, this is pretty normal. Seller pay commission in the North American for the past 100 years. So 90 days for the holdover, you can put a 60, 30, but I don't think that is, we should let you waste the time to explain for the details for the BRA. It's very easy. Tell buyer, this is the contract, this is the commitment. So if you trust me as an agent to help you buy the property, so that is the form, we can sign it. If you're not trust, maybe just, you know, you don't need to sign. But anyway, BRA based on the RICO threshold is mandatory to have to sign the BRA. Okay, so done. The Schedule A is blank. That's new, but usually we don't need to put too many information here unless, you know, there's a special arrangement, but usually we don't have. And that's it. So the BRA is very simple. We finish. And the next one, RICO info guide, is also the very simple form. The representation agreement before is called working with realtor, 1 page. But right now we have almost like 13 pages. 12 page, yeah, 12 pages. And basically it's the agency representing the agreement and have a agent signature and also the buyer signature. So you don't need to fill any information, just leave as is. And so that is the form we finish. Usually we click a file, click a save. And for the fund track form, fund track 630, we ask a buyer, can you please provide the copy or take a photo of your driver's license because we need to fill the fund track as per the federal government requirement. They don't need a signature, so you just fill the information, the agent name, and when you receive the fund, file the fund track, and what's the buyer's legal name, what's the buyer's address, and also date of birth you can find from the driver's license. Very important, the occupation. Most of the agent, they never ask. So they should ask before you prepare the offer when you get the fund track form done. So usually we will ask a buyer, what are you doing for living? Or they will say, oh, I'm the general labor in the ABC company, ABC Inc. You just write down the title, job title, and write down the company name. That's it. If they say, oh, I'm retired. So retired means before they retired, they saving the money by work before retired. So we should ask, what are you doing for living before you retired? And sometimes people say, I'm student, but student right now, they are not allowed to buy in a certain amount. But usually if they don't have any job, we need to ask who provide the fund for that. And the A1 fund track, the photo ID. Usually we use a driver's license, fill all the information to A1. After A1 finish, we don't need the A2, we don't need the A3, only A1. And then we go to all the way to the C. So I will not spend the time because we have a very limited time to prepare the offer. And that is the fund track. We don't need a signature. And we finish. And once you finish, you can select 1, 2, and use authentic sign, send it to authentic sign. Let your buyer to sign it. So I'm not going to send it now because we need to prepare the offer. So the offer, we start from A01. If you are the buyer agent and also you buy the property for yourself, for your family, for your relative, you need a disclosure. Otherwise, we don't need a disclosure. So just go A01 first. And same is very simple. We put today's date and the buyer's name And the offer, we are going to use the email to the listing agent. And roughly, we're going to send the offer by today, more or less, maybe 2 o'clock. And today's date. Offer, usually we give 24 hours for the irrevocable. By 11:59 p.m., we put it tomorrow. Done. So for the A1, it's an offer summary. We just fill the information in this part. The date, buyer name, how are you going to send the offer, when are you going to send the offer, what's irrevocable. For the counter offer, we don't need to do counter offer now, just leave blank. So A1 finish. We go to the most important form, it's called the APS, Agreement Purchase Sale 100. All right, let's keep continue. 100, the date is here, the buyer's name is here, the property address, and the next one, the front on. We have to check the MLS and the font, where is front on? So you see the MLS, front on east. So we come back the offer, we write down EAST, east of the street. And the next one, city of Markham. And the next one, the system already automatically pop in the frontage and the dips. Don't forget, write down the feet, because most of the agents just forget because it's very hard to see it is feet. And also the legal description. And some agent, they are really focused on details. So they just go to MLS, they just click Geo Warehouse. And because when they click a Geo Warehouse, they want to double check, making sure the seller is the correct seller, and the property frontage dips and the legal description, everything is correct. Because we don't want to make any mistake, because the listing agent sometimes made a mistake. So Geo Warehouse, you can double check. I'm not going to waste the time for the Geo Warehouse. And next one, the price. Usually, if you prepare the offer together with a buyer sit beside you. So I will say, let's forget about the price now. Let's prepare all the rest of the things. Leave the price will in the end. The reason is, if the buyer sitting beside you, or if the buyer, you prepare the offer with the buyer in the Zoom meeting. Sometimes we prepare the offer, share a window with buyer for the Zoom meeting. If you write the price now, the buyer will argue with you. Oh, I want $900. I want 1 million. I want 1.1. Just, with last time. So that's why I will just suggest you wait until end to do the CMA. Let's go deposit. Deposit is upon acceptance. That means once the offer accept, within 24 hours, we give a deposit. And let's say we give 60,000 for the deposit, usually more or less for 5,000, 5% of the price, sold price. Ask a buyer, if the property accepted today, are you going to get 60,000 from the bank to do the deposit? If the buyer said yes, then we put the 60,000. If the buyer said no, I only have a 30,000, so you have to do the supplementary deposit. Ask a buyer in the next few days when you can get the rest of the 30,000. Ask always is the best way, because you don't want to get a surprise when the offer accepted today, tomorrow buyer told you, no, I don't have money for deposit. Pay to, most of the agent always forget the deposit paid to listing brokerage. We can copy and paste. And the Schedule A, Schedule B from the listing brokerage. So we can see the attachment, Schedule B is right here. And we come back The offer is irrevocable by buyer until 11:59 tomorrow. And the offer completion date, that means the closing date. We can always go to the listing. We can see, is there any you see the position type is flexible. That means the seller don't have a specific time and the property occupancy by owner. So usually if that's in case, we just give it 2 months, 60 days for the closing. So now we come back and May, June, we may give end of the June 30th, June 30th. The closing day cannot be a Saturday, Sunday, and a holiday. 2 months, tell the buyer this is we initially write down the closing day. Maybe a seller will change it based on their situation. And the next chattels include, we go to MLS. Same thing, we copy inclusion. Copy and paste to inclusion. And fridge, stove, built-in dishwasher, washer, dryer, electronic light fixture, window covering, central air condition, GDO garage door opener. So that is all the things included in the offer. Fixture not include, exclude. We didn't see anything, we leave blank. The rental item usually is a hot water tank, but most of the case we have double check with listing agent. Ask a listing agent, can you please double check, make sure the seller they don't have other rental item, like air condition, like a furnace, like a water softener. Just double check. Nothing wrong to do the double check. Title search usually is 2 weeks before the closing. We go to the closing day, we go back 1 week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the closing. The use. Single family residential. So most of the residential is a single family 301, but we just write down single family residential. That's okay. So the form finish. We go all the way to Schedule A, tell the buyer, the offer is a pretty standard offer, and for the most of the it's pre-built in the clause, it's pretty standard. If there's anything you can ask me, or either before closing, you can check with your lawyer. But for the Schedule A, because this is our brokerage, we prepare the Schedule A. I need to quickly have you go through the Schedule A. Balance. So on the closing, the lawyer will do the adjustment based on the price, based on the most of the things on the closing, lawyer will do adjustment, you have to pay the balance. Seller will discharge mortgage, there's no lien, no mortgage on the title when the closing date. Seller warranty, there's no working order, everything should be a clean title. So next one, two very important condition. One is for the finance, 5 banking days, mortgage condition. Next one is a home inspection. At the same time, there's a 5 banking days for the 2 condition will be start after offer accept. So next one is the survey. If the seller, they have a survey, they have to provide a survey copy after 3 days. This is not a condition. This is just a warranted clause. And the next one, there's no 2 times for the revisit. Before the closing, we have to do the 2 times revisitor. It depends when are you ready. Usually the first time for the measurement of the furniture you want to buy. The last revisitor will be a final revisitor. Usually it's 3 or 5 banking days before the closing. We just want to double check, make sure everything is normal working. And next clause, the seller warranty, there's all the electronic, plumbing, mechanical components, everything is working properly. So that is also the seller will have the warranty. And same time, we need to do the walkthrough before the closing for the revisit. Seller agreed to vacant the property, there's no garbage left over. And the next one, the seller one, it is not property using for the marijuana, for the grow house, and also the illegal use. Last one is both brokerage represent their client, and listing brokerage represent the seller, cooperating brokerage, which means all brokerage represent the buyer. Two brokerage working together, make these deals go through. Okay, so that's it for the offer. I think that's a little better. Okay, we still have time. That's good. And the offer should prepare the offer usually within 15, 20 minutes will be good. Otherwise, if you have a Zoom meeting with a buyer for 2 hours, the buyer will walk away. And so that's why some agent, you are not ever prepared the offer yet. So please prepare the offer after we finish the training today. There's a free of charge. You don't need to worry about that. The web form is free and you can try. Next form, A01 we finish, 100 we finish. The next form is 320, cooperating confirmation. Usually we explain to the buyer, this form is two brokerage working together. Listing brokerage represents the seller. And as all brokerage, we're working with the buyer. And all the fees will be paid from the seller to listing brokerage. So that's it. We just initial and sign it. That's it. Once the form finish, remember we already do the authentic sign for the first 371 BRA and also RICO info guide. We have one authentic sign to finish it. And then we have another authentic sign is A01, 100, and 320. If you are the agent buying the property for yourself, never forget disclosure. We have some agents said, can I just go prepare the offer first? And after offer accept, I'm going to tell the listing agent I'm the buyer. No, never do that. You should disclose on the very, very beginning. So that is the authentic sign for the offer. I will do the sample here. Okay, so choose the right form and then click basket and also click the authentic sign icon. Before you do anything, we need to go to the forms, making sure all the form is there. We have A01, offer summary. We have APS, agreement purchase sale. We have a cooperating confirmation. And also we need a Schedule B from the listing brokerage. We go to listing. We scroll down to the attachment. We see Schedule B. And we download Schedule B. To download. And then we come back to the authentic sign. We add, upload the form, upload from the Schedule B. We just download. So all the form is ready. Now we need to find who is going to sign it. We go to the signer. From the signer, we click add participant. From add participant, we add from second from the bottom. It's called add from transaction. And then now we see the buyer. We need to sign it. Cooperating agent, we need to sign it. For the listing agent, for the seller, forget about that. That's a listing agent's responsibility to do the authentic sign. We only take care of the oral side, which means the buyer side. So buyer agent, we select. And the buyer agent, you click, you find your name, your email, your role, everything is good. You go to the buyer, you find the buyer, they have a missing email address. So you have to ask a buyer, can you please provide me your email address? and then click update. When next time you do the authentic sign from this transaction, you don't need to add email again. Just click save. Okay, now we have everybody needed to signer ready. So now we come back to the offer. You see the offer summary because the template automatically applied. So the initial will be automatically placed in the place. So we just double check initial signature here, and the initial is here. Oh, we forget the price. And if we forget the price, let's say we do a little bit fast, and then we come back and see how much we're supposed to suggest a buyer to offer, put the offer for this price. And let's copy. Oh, let's see, this is Bercy York. Okay, let's do the duplicate. And then we do search. And then we clear, we go reset to default. And location. Let's use postcode, maybe. We copy the postcode and we come back. We check the jump to location. That means we are quickly located where property is located. You see, this is the main page of the search. Jump to location. We paste postcode. We found the property is located here. And we can use a draw polygon. So that is the area, the community we drag. And the next one, let's see the property is semi-detached, 3-bedroom, 1 garage. Okay, let's come back to fund. For sale, we need to fund unavailable because we need to fund sold. We need to fund semi-detached. And we need to fund 3-bedroom. And we need to fund sold. And how long? We need to go to sold date T minus 180 days. Let's go back to today, go back to 6 months. So you can always adjust. From today, go back to 6 months, we have 5 listings here. Okay, let's go to done. And from the 5 listing, you need a double, if you have time, go through for every listing. You need to check the size. You need to check the frontage. You need to check the depth. You need to check the room size and also the renovation, finished basement, because based on those details, you need to get a more accurate number. Based on we don't have enough time, so I will leave it. Let's say we already finished every single property we found there have 1, 2, 3. Maybe there's only 4 property is closed. And then we go to status and count. Based on those 4 property, average price is 1.1 for the listing, and the sold price 1.225, 1.218. So that means at least 1.2 is the price, is market price. So I will suggest a buyer, based on the quick CMA we done. So I will suggest a buyer start from 1.2. So how we are going to change from here? Let's go back. You see the back, and I need to save. Once I go back, I need to go to forms, and I need to go to 100. From 100, I will put 1.2. Yes, let's start from 1.2. And after I fill all the information here, remember to use save. The save is under the file, click save. And after you finish the save, I will go to save and exit and go to signing. You see the signing is under the form. There's already have a draft. We are not finished yet. I will go to the draft. From draft, you will see there's not updated yet. So I have to delete and insert again to make sure they have update. So let's go to document. Let's go to 100. I will remove 100. Now I will add 100. After add 100, 100 is the second form. So let's see. Now you will see there's 1.2 is already coming because we update. So any change, you can come back to the forms and save it. You can from the authentic sign to update. Okay, let's keep going. For the authentic sign, signature here, the form we already finished, the price, deposit, and the closing day, everything is good. The buyer initial will automatically pop in. Initial automatically pop in. And the buyer signature is already applied. And the buyer signature for acknowledge. And here for the agent, agent signature for the commission. Missing. It's always missing. So let's manually put. First, let's choose the agent. And let's drag the signature to here. Because we don't need a date, we just delete. So next is Schedule A. If the buyer told you, you know what, I don't need a mortgage because we have enough money to pay. We don't need a mortgage. So now we can use a line. Click the line, and we need to cross out. And ask a buyer, switch to buyer, initial it. And the mortgage, the condition for the inspection is still there. Let's continue going. Everything is good. Confirmation, initial buyer, initial for the agent, signature for the agent. And here, the system, they always have error with multiple representation because we are not multiple. So we have to delete the multiple. And the next one is Schedule B. Because the Schedule B is a blank form, so we have to manually to write down the buyer seller name, the property address, and the date, and also the buyer initial. Let's click and let buyer make an initial. And after that, we using text box. We write down the buyer's name. And we write down the seller's name. So you can copy from the MLS, copy and paste, same thing. The address, you need to write down the property address. You can copy and paste. And the date, you see the auto date. That means they will start for the today's date. That's it. So now we are finished the signing. So don't send, don't to rush to send. Usually for the first few offer, just wait and come back to do the one more time check, making sure the initial, the signature is in the right spot. You can go a little bit slow because usually you're not familiar with the initial signature. Take a little bit slow, take time. Okay, so once you double check 2 or 3 times, you can just click next to send. And once you send, you can go to your email to sign it. And also you can call your buyer, ask your buyer to sign it. So your buyer can open the cell phone, open the email. They don't need to download anything. Just when they open the email, they can easily to sign it. So maybe, sometimes you're just waiting, you want to see who is not signed yet. You want to call them to make sure the deal, the authentic sign will be signed quickly. So you can just click authentic sign. You will see, oh, this is the buyer is already signed it. You see authenticate and also approved. You see this is the agent is not signed yet. Maybe this is another buyer. You can call the buyer, said, oh, can you please check the email and sign it? So maybe the buyer said, no, I never received it. You will double check with the buyer, oh, your email is da 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 da. If the buyer said, no, I changed the email. This is not my email anymore. So you can easily click edit and you can put another email address. Once you once you update the email, once you click save, the system will automatically send the authentic sign to the new email. So that is, who is not signed yet. You know how to change the email in case they are not received authentic sign. Okay, once everybody is signed, so you can just click. You will see this is already complete. You see, both of them is already signed. Go to authentic sign, go to last one. And here you see the view send PDF. Click view send PDF. And then you can download it. This is send offer, send it to the listing agent. How to send the listing agent? You can find the listing agent email from MLS and email them the offer. Use attachment. So that is the full process, how we are going to prepare the offer by authentic sign. So it's pretty easy, but at least I will suggest you to, when when we finish the training, trying to play around, find any of the listing, because the web form is free. It's free of charge. So you find any of the listing, use your name as a buyer to put some offer and see how is that work. And I will suggest you when you prepare the offer, just to see what time now. Now it's 11:48. And when you finish it, write down the time and see how long you can finish the offer. And we have some agent for the most of the first offer. They can finish, most of the agent can done within an hour, usually 45 minutes to 50 minutes. If you cannot finish in the first offer within the 45 minutes, I think you should do a little bit more practice. And for the most of the real case, we have to help the buyer to finish the offer within 15 minutes. You know, sometimes it's a multiple offer, buyer see the property they like, you bring the buyer to the office. Within 15 minutes, you have to finish the offer and send it to listing agent. So that's why prepare the offer is the basic fundamental to do the real estate. And that's also very important. We cannot wait for the last minute because we have lots of agents say, oh, my buyer just see the property they like. I never done the offer. This is my first offer. Now it's really rushed. You cannot finish the offer very rush within 15 minutes. So that's why we always have the training for how to prepare the offer. Okay, now we take time for the questions. I think a lot of agents, you may have a question. Please put your question in the chat mark, in the chart. We can take the questions now. The first question, is there any difference between Toronto form and Ontario form? So there's no difference. All the form is exactly the same. Only name is different. For the Toronto, that means most of the cases using for the tribal member, but the Ontario is the whole Ontario. So either you're using Toronto, using Ontario, there's no difference. So you can use either form. For all those forms, any of them need our broker record to sign. Yes, if you are buying the property for yourself, the disclosure 160 need signed by broker record, Tony. But however, so if you prepare the offer, let's say now it's a Saturday, a weekend, a holiday, and you need to prepare the offer now. You need to send it to listing agent. So you can prepare the offer. You can prepare the disclosure without broker record signature. You can send it to the listing agent. After offer accept, you can send it back to the office. Tony will sign that part later. So please have more questions if you have. You suggest have those inspection on purchase condo. So for the condition, we will always suggest a buyer to put the condition in the Schedule A. Whatever condo, whatever is a freehold, we have to let the buyer have the condition for the finance, for the inspection, and also if a condo, there's one more condition, is for the status certificate, buyer's lawyer review. You should always leave the condition, whatever or always built-in condition. Only thing is you can suggest a buyer if the condo is brand new or condo, most of the buyer they can decide by themselves. Because there's a lot of the common element and also property management office manage the whole building. It's only within the four walls. So most of the buyers think it's not worth to use the inspection to do the condominium purchase, but it's all depends yourself. If you think you're first time buying the property, you need to ask an inspector come to do the inspection. That's okay. So we will not against them to do the inspection, but most of the buyer, they will not do inspection for the condo purchase. And the next one, does the same broker form uploaded to the scale slope? Yes, we are going to do the scale slope form next Thursday because we have to learn the both. In the past, past few months, sometimes the web form, the server down. We cannot do anything. We have to learn how to use the SkySlope. So next week, we are going to prepare the offer by using SkySlope. Okay, for the comparable. The comparable is, I will have this, I will have those record. So we'll put on the office website. You can check this video later on, and for the how to compare the price from your own which one you like between the run or SkySlope. Okay, so for the run, is one of the MLS system. Right now, there's only two systems. One is Matrix, one is run. But from the web form and the SkySlope, either you're using my Matrix, either you're using the run, you can use both. And if you're the new agent, so I strongly suggest you using the run, because the run is newer, and also the run is the much more powerful. So trying to use run if you're the new. Okay, I believe everybody is okay for now. Remember, so after we finish training, so trying to prepare the offer, at least one or two offers, and see how is the feel to prepare the offer using your own name, and see how long you can finish your first offer. Okay, I think there's another question on the MLS. The seller only have offer 2% commission. Can I request a 2.5 when I prepare to submit the offer? Well, that is a really tricky question. From the MLS, the tribe rule, you cannot using the 320 cooperating confirmation to write down the different commission other than MLS listing. But before you do that, you can use a separate form to ask a listing agency if they are willing to pay higher commission. They didn't say what's the separate form, but at least I will suggest you before you put the offer, send an email to the listing agent. Tell the listing agent, are you willing to give the 2.5% commission if I bring the buyer? Please confirm yes or no. If they confirm yes, then you can prepare the offer and write down the commission from the 320. It also depends for the which area, because in the outside of the Toronto, most of the area is 2%. And from the MLS, you see this is the first page. If they agree, we shouldn't check one, we need to check two. So before you do that, you make sure they already confirm from the separate form, which means the email. You write down the 2.5. Okay, so that's all for today. I think a lot of the agent is not a new agent, but anyway, so most of the agent, if you new to the run, new to the new member to the tribe, so please prepare the offer before you get a have a new real offer. Okay, so thank you for today. I will see you next time. Thank you.